I said there ain't no use in wondering why the devil walks while the angels cry. They say the grass is greener on the other side. Well, fame is the black.
My name is Scott Attu and I'm the lead singer for Vandalye.
My name's Thomas, I play guitar in the band.
I'm Lucas and I also play guitar and piano.
We're musicians based here in Dubai.
So the first time we met was at an open mic at Pizza Express in JLT here nearly 4 years ago.
And we just really liked what each other did and decided to go outside for a smoke, and then before we knew it, we wanted to write together.
I remember when it happened, we were like, okay, Vandalye is what we settled on. And we had 3 songs that we were confident in playing in some degree. And I said, cool, let's rehearse for 2 hours. They were both like, why? And I was like, because we're playing the open mic tomorrow, even though we met at last week's open mic. We just started writing a lot. They had like a home makeshift studio in their house, so it was like a really good space for us to just sort of mess around with it, like songwriting.
I feel too much pressure on me now.
Thomas. I think our approach to writing the music is there'll be a couple of starting points that we can always go to.
Some of the better songs we've written have been like at a sound check or in the middle of nowhere. It just happens naturally. You know, lots of the times I'll come with a piano melody or a guitar riff and we'll kind of compose something like that.
Other times we'll start completely from scratch. I'll come out with an idea of what I've had in my head of like an experience or seeing something. I'll be like, I want to write about this, and we'll all sort of collectively start from somewhere. But it never just starts from either the music or the lyrics. It can vary like completely. Sometimes it sort of jumps out of nowhere, which is cool.
When you write, you always have your go-to like melodies or your go-to chords or your go-to progressions, and before you know it, everything starts sounding the same, which isn't a bad thing because maybe that's your sound. But like, I use the lap steel a lot, which is a slide guitar, and I kind of know what chords are going to work in a song. I just know it, but you're just copying what you did before. It's really hard to write something unique every time.
A lot of the times musicians write songs and then they just don't know how to finish it.
You can start with this big, bold idea or even the smallest of ideas of what you want to write about, and how do you write about something you maybe care about or you're really intrigued by and put it into like 3 minutes. I think that's finishing a song is the most difficult thing.
Actually, me and Scott do the lyrics usually. We are actually very different characters, at least in terms of Scott and us, so you could probably tell whose lyrics are whose just very quickly.
I didn't used to like writing about experiences I'd never been through before, but I had a big conversation with Thomas one day about it, and and I was very stubborn in it, but lately I've been writing very much about things I've never experienced.
I like writing more about concepts. Yeah, sometimes a bit too deep that we have to tone it back a bit.
You gotta write as soon as you can, even if you can only play 2 chords. If we hadn't written our first EP, we would have never been able to support Lionel Richie. And if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have gotten our album. You know, so it kind of, and that was purely because literally the day we met as a band, we wrote our own music.
I personally like to be able to dictate what happens, what we do, and then make mistakes, and you know you're going to make a lot of mistakes, but at least keep that in your hands. And sometimes we've struggled with when other people make the decisions for you. You can sometimes feel like you're in this limbo where things aren't happening. But to me, I'd say, I do personally think giving away the power, you could say, to make your own decisions is really something to watch out for. You can get paid quite well for gigs in Dubai, but the price is also very high. So if you don't have a steady supply of gigs, you run out quickly. And the other issue also is most venues in Dubai want cover bands. And we're not a cover band, we only play our stuff majority of the time. So you don't get consistent gigs, you only get one-off gigs. So you have to be very active in that sense. Also, a good characteristic is to know that it's not only inspiration that gets you there. And sometimes it's the mistake we make. You have to be able to come in every day and sit down and write, even when it doesn't feel like you want to write. This whole notion of, getting inspired and writing a hit song doesn't work that often.
It's more just sitting in the room and writing.
Sitting in a room and just like getting through it.
I think lots of people say, I want to go to New Zealand or I want to go to Bali and find myself. And I think it will help me as a musician. We strongly just disagree with that. If you want to write or try and write better, you just try and write. You're recording a song and you're mixing a guitar or whatever, and you're listening to the same thing for 8 hours straight. That can really put you in a bad mood. So there's definitely extremely tedious moments, but there's nothing better than when you compose something and you actually think it's really good. Because you have so many insecurities as a musician but sometimes you write something and it will just all come together and you're like, okay, we might actually have something. That's kind of what it's all about.
If you have enough passion, you sort of force yourself to just do it regardless. Even if someone isn't there to tell you what to do, or learning a guitar, if that is the thing, if music is the thing that makes you happy and drives you to continue doing music as something as a hobby or you want to pursue as a career, whatever it may be, it's more just, no one can really sit there and tell you a piece of advice. I don't think anyway anyone can sort of sit there and give you advice on it. You have to just love it. Otherwise you don't have that drive even if someone tells you. I don't see there being any difficulties of being an independent band. For quite a while, there was such a time where I wanted to be I would love to be signed by a major label. But over time I personally don't care for that. I love the independent route.